Hey, good morning. Um, yeah, good morning, guys. Yeah, Akshaya, and Abhiniti. So today is the last class, and see in this lesson we'll see what are the topics we need to really focus on, right? I've just sent few tissues material in class group, so you can see that. So it was given very beautifully, the flow charts and the the way it should be, right? So even diagrams also there. So everything is at one place. So in this structural organization, in animals especially, what you need to focus. Good morning, Zinapriya. What you need to focus is more on the tissues. So tissues and their origin. For example, from where they origin. You have got mesoderm, ectoderm, and endoderm. So, for example, nervous tissue, from which germ layer it actually, embryonic layer it actually origin from ectoderm, like that mesoderm. From mesoderm, what are the different tissues really, the origin? So, if you see this, we have four different types of tissues. We have nervous tissues, muscular tissue, epithelial tissue, and connective tissue, and their origins. So you may get confused and you may actually lose marks in this simple, memory-based questions, right? And I gave a material that gives a clear picture of types of tissues, their origin also. You will not find this approach in your NCERT also. So make use of this. I've sent in group. So each tissue, right? Epithelial tissue, connective tissue, nervous tissue, right? And we have muscular tissue. Muscular tissue we already talked in the case of locomotion and movement. So here we have to more talk about epithelial tissues. Nervous tissue we covered mostly in what is this? Neural coordination and control. So here we will be more focusing on epithelial and connective tissues. Okay. Within the connective tissue, again, we talked about cartilage and other, which acts as protection. We covered in locomotion. So let's see. In this structural organization in animals, epithelial tissues are most important, especially within the tissues. So each tissue and their location and their function, whether they are single layer or double layer or multi-layer. So these are the things where you may lose marks. Correct or incorrect statements, column A, column B questions, type of questions, and they may directly ask a memory-based question like, for example, salivary ducts would contain what type of epithelial tissue. So you should be picking either squamous or cuboidal or ciliated or columnar. So you have to pick the correct one, cuboidal. So these are all kind of memory-based questions, but when you're reading human physiology, while you're reading these glands, you can go back to this worksheet and you can really connect both the things. Okay, today now I'm reading about the glands present in the digestive tract, or I'm talking about, I'm reading about the salivary ducts. So salivary ducts. So the salivary ducts are of three types, and where they are present, and what are the functions, and which tissues they are made up of. Then you can connect back with these worksheets. If you learn in this way, it will be easy. Otherwise, you have to, you will be trying to memorize this, and definitely you will get confused at the end of the day. Okay, because they all sort of resembles the closely they will be related. So because n number of tissues are there, many tissues are there, especially it means different locations, and it's very highly unlikely to remember everything. So this is the approach you can do when you're reading about an organ in any other. For example, if you're reading about respiratory system, trachea. So tracheal cells are lined by what kind of epithelium cells? So that or stomach is lined by what kind of a cell tissue or layers. So that's how you need to go back and connect with this tissues chapter. Is that clear? So this simple epithelial tissues like squamous, ciliated, cuboidal, ciliated, columnar and cuboidal, where exactly their locations, especially organs, and if they are releasing any hormones or any substances which causes diseases. Okay, if those substances are not released, they will cause certain disorders or diseases. So those kind of a cells you focus more. Okay, so whoever secretes, right, secretions, etc. So those are all simple epithelial cells, epithelial tissues. And coming to compound epithelium tissue, what is the difference between simple and compound epithelium, and what are the different types of compound epithelial tissues you can find? That is, you can stratified epithelium. We have within the stratified epithelium we have squamous, cuboidal, columnar, ciliated. So these are the things which I already sent in your group. So please try to recollect or read in this flowchart manner, so that you can grasp more and you can really remember more. Okay, I'm not saying not to memorize, but few things you have to use a proper technique. Otherwise, you can't really memorize everything. Okay, maybe a 5 to 10% memory you can use. You can memorize things, but not 90%. Right? So for this, you need to relate with the organ that you're studying. Then it would be more easy. Okay. So like that, each tissue, their origin, what origin from here, whether ectoderm, mesoderm, or endoderm, and what is their location, whether they are lining of the stomach or lining of the trachea, or where exactly they present, which organ, which cells, and their associated secretions or functions. Is that clear? So that's how we need to focus on this, you know, tissues, be it any type of tissue. Connective tissue also, you have a similar kind of an approach. So what is the function of matrix, fibers and cells within the connective tissue? What are the different connective tissue we can get? And I gave a beautiful big flow chart, types of connective tissue. You can see that. So we'll be having vascular connective tissue and skeletal connective tissue, right? So what exactly this vascular connective tissue would be there, whether it is dense or light, or for example, what type of tissue you will find in respiratory tract, alveolar tissue. So these type of tissues you need to focus, like exactly where exactly they are present and their function. Okay, so I gave a flow chart. So kindly go through that and see the important points, that where exactly which type of, what is the nature of that tissue, right? So if they are secreting something, what they are secreting. So go through that flowchart that I have given. I'm not explaining everything here, but if you have doubts, you can approach. You can ask in group also. That's not a problem. Okay. So connective tissues, their types. I told, right, this connective tissue, blood, lymph, everything which we covered in most probably within the circulation lesson, body fluids and circulation, right? So here we are not talking that much. So here mostly in this lesson we will focus more on the connective. What is this? Epithelial tissues. More of an epithelial tissue. So when we talk about muscular tissue, again, within the muscular tissue we have different types of muscular tissues, like cardiac tissues, smooth muscle cells, and skeletal tissue. So what is the difference between the smooth muscle cells and skeletal tissue, right? So they are striated, they are non-striated, they are multinucleated, uninucleated. So these differences you need to pick, and sometimes I may be asking in correct or incorrect statements as well. So these are the following, from the following statements, pick the incorrect statement of the skeletal tissue. So skeletal tissues are, for example, this the question goes like this: pick the incorrect statement from the below statements regarding skeletal tissue. So skeletal tissues are voluntary. Skeletal tissues are having very rapid contractions. Skeletal tissues are cylindrical and striped, and skeletal tissue are uninucleated. So which is incorrect statement out of these four? Which is incorrect statement? So you can recollect. Skeletal tissues are voluntary. Skeletal tissues. I'll type here all the options. So this is how model questions you can get like. I'm sending the question. You try to figure it out. Okay. So as these are 11th standard, maybe it will take time to really recollect, right? That's what we are doing. We are trying to recall by using a question format. Okay. So I'm sending a question. Okay. So out of these four options, which option is incorrect? Which option is incorrect? Pick the incorrect option. So these lessons, you have to. There is a method that you can, while you're like, there's a revision strategy, that is, you can take the questions and do it. When you don't know, you have to go back to the concept in the NCERT. This is one method. The other method is reading entire text and then coming and solving the question. And if you get any doubt, again you go back. This is cycle of learning, right? So in this cycle of learning, you can approach like from the question to the text or text to the question. So now we are approaching from question to text. Now you guys are might be searching in the worksheets I provided or net or whatsoever. So in this approach, you will be each and every option you will search, right, and each and every option you will try to analyze. So this method it is very effective if you because you have time for preparation, you can go ahead with it. But at least once or twice or thrice now, because actually if according to the NEET schedule, actual NEET schedule, by now already 1 month is today is May, right? Yeah, almost 1 month is over. Like your test is already done. So one extra month you already got. So it means that you should be more thorough, right? So what is the answer? What is the incorrect statement in this? Incorrect statement. Okay, find out and tell, right? So let's move to the next aspect, like this muscular tissue, 3 types of tissues, and this is how you need to follow. And neural tissue and their functions, and different types of neurons also I have given, right? Oligodendrocyte, microglial cells, right? Etc. Different types of cells, neural cells I have given, and types of neurons also I gave: apolar, unipolar, bipolar, multipolar, and their functions and their locations. At the same time, based upon the functions also, I have given worksheet I gave sensory efferent neurons, motor efferent neurons, interneurons, and etc. Right? Yes. Exercia, correct. Very good. So they are actually They are multinucleate. Okay, very good. Good, Arshia. Keep it up. Okay. Right. So let's move on. And what are the other things we need to focus here? So we have got morphology and anatomy of earthworm. Right. In earthworm, what are the different segments we have? Where is the clitellum located? Right. How this sexual reproduction is taking place? Where this spermatheca, these chambers, their number, chambers, and the location of different organs would be important in this earthworm. Okay, and what type of circulatory system you will be finding, what type of nervous system you will be finding, what is a ganglion here, so what is a where exactly gizzard is located, ninth segment. So these are the different segments, right? Segments and their functions that you need to focus in the case of earthworm. For that matter, any different organisms that were covered here, you need to focus on these aspects, like what are the different segments and their what are the associated function. Okay, so like that, different organ systems you need to cover. Okay? You need to cover circulatory system, excretory system, respiratory system. So what is more special about this? If you see in this respiratory system of earthworm, it is really special where it can extend through its uh, thin layers of the body, right? So this is one type of earthworm. So these are the different aspects you need to cover when it comes to anatomy of the earthworm, especially male and female reproductive system. What you have to focus is that where exactly this this testis are located, how many pairs of it, either one pair or two pairs, of ovaries one pair or two pairs, right? So which is a copulatory organ here, so whether hermaphrodite or not. So these are the different factual parts you need to focus. Okay, in the same way in cockroach also we need to go by segment, head, thorax, and abdomen. So what are the different segments you find it in abdomen, and how do you differentiate between a male and female cockroach, right? What are the different parts of the mouth, right? Parts of mouth, right? So we have got labrum, hypopharynx, labium, mandibles, right? So these are the different parts you need to more focus on. But in this cockroach, this hepatic CK and malphizian tubules, their function, their location would be important. Okay, what are hepatic CK, where exactly present, and then because why we are focusing is that right from the lower vertebrates to vertebrates, until higher vertebrates, these excretory organs are keep evolving, right? So those are the structures we need to focus on. So malphizian tubules, excretory function. So those are the things you need to focus on. So within the gut, foregut, midgut, and hindgut, hindgut, right, or hindgut or hindgut. What are the different parts that were located within the foregut? So they may be asking like foregut, what are the different, it will not be this much easy, but these are the memory things that you need to focus in this. That's it. And what type of a respiratory system does this cockroach displace, right? What kind of a circulatory system, right? If you see here, open type of circulatory systems will be seen in cockroach, and you'll be finding air tubes or trachea within this respiratory system of the cockroach, Like that, we have got nervous system, and we have got central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, autonomous nervous system, and their components also you need to focus. Right? So reproductive structures, in which segments is reproductive structures are present, and what are the aspects of it? Right? So in this way, you need to approach each and every three organisms anatomy. So what are the segments, or what are the organs associated with it? What are their functions? Okay, and what is the type of circulatory system? What is the type of respiratory system? And if there is any exceptional cases, like it can respire to cutaneous. So how many chambers? So these are the important aspects you need to focus. If you talk in, if you take this heart of a frog, right, three-chambered heart, and what is the physiology of the blood when it has three-chambered? Is it a mixed type of blood, or completely it is separated as oxygenated, deoxygenated? Also, you will be focusing. Okay, so in the case of nervous system, right, it is not much focused in the NCERT, but we already talked about human nervous system. But here the nervous system terminology would be really different when it comes to human. Different in the sense the terms they used here would be different, but they have serves the same purpose. Okay. For example, diencephalon, mesencephalon, prosencephalon, which this demarcation is not given in the human brain, but I mean in the NCERT, but usually we try to see the anatomy in that perspective. So here, what is a diencephalon and what are the organs associated with it, and where exactly medulla oblongata present, and what are its functions, right? So these are the things that you need to focus when it comes to. So this is a lesson where you need to stay there and more focus on the tissues. And when it comes to anatomy, their organ systems different. You can take like frog, cockroach, and earthworm, and different organ systems like circulatory systems, respiratory system, reproductive system, and you can write what are the differences. So once you make this tabular form, it will be more easy for the easy approach. And what are the different tissues are there, and if there are excretory organs, how they evolved, whether they are cells are there, or some level of tissue level, or they have organ level of organization. So you have to approach this lesson in this way, and hopefully we'll start the grand test from tomorrow, or if there is any if there are any changes, we'll try to let you know. So I sent already tissues worksheet, so please go through it and please make use of it. And if you need any topics to be explained, you can put it in the group also. That's not an issue. Okay. So yeah, Ashya, you're welcome. And please, so this is it for today, guys. And please do revise. I'll try to send the previous year's questions, right? And you can use it for practice. And stay home and stay safe. Thank you. And we'll let you know the tomorrow's program. From tomorrow, probably the grand test should be begin. If there is any change, we will try to inform. Thank you.